welcome to Balancing Act, Balancing Money, Life, and Time with my buddy Sam McEwen, and I'm Linda Wilson. We're your hosts today, and our topic today is work-life harmony.
Yeah, that's a good topic. You know,
Yeah.
our title is Balancing Act, but people talk about work-life balance all the time, and I'm not sure that there is such a thing.
I don't see it as work-life balance. Because with anything when balancing, there's the give and take. And if something moves, you're out of balance.
Right.
And it's work-life harmony.
Yeah. You can live in harmony and not have balance in your work life and your personal life and everything else, but be harmonious and be happy and be content.
Right.
But that also comes with communication.
Definitely.
And
Especially in the family.
Yeah, especially with family. And I know I have a friend who's an author, and he wrote a really, really good diet book. And it's called The Diet Rebel, and his name is Brian Harner, but it's not a diet. It's kind of a Mythbusters thing when it comes to diets, and it's a really good book. There were times when he had to say to his wife and to his son, okay, this is flowing. I've got to stay on this for the time being. And they knew that whatever they had planned or whatever they were going to do, it was okay to do that without him. And there would be a harmony in the family, because then they would get together and do something different later when there was time. And so that's harmony. That's communication in a relationship. And I believe that that's where a lot of people miss it. And they try to, the guy with the plates, juggling the plates and stuff like that, it takes a professional to do that. And I don't believe we can do that with our life.
I think we can for very short periods of time.
Yeah.
The stress of doing that, gosh, me and Jeff tried that for years, and it was extremely stressful. There was just always, we couldn't balance. Jeff had his health issues, I had mine, our son had his, our animals had theirs. Life happens, and you can't keep things in balance and take care of the things that happen.
Right.
But as you learn to meld things together and what can and can't be moved around, that's where the harmony comes in and the stress comes out.
Right. Yeah. What happens when you try to juggle everything and balance everything? One person has a tendency to overcompensate and to maybe take on more than they should, trying to make up for some time here and trying to do this, and you juggle, and that's not good for the heart. It's not good for the soul, and it's never good for a relationship, because one person is going to feel neglected and one person is going to feel used, right? If you're trying to balance, that's usually what happens. Somebody ends up feeling neglected, somebody ends up feeling used. And so now, even though you say you have work-life balance, you don't. And I believe we need to work towards harmony. I have a musical training and musical background, and I was in an honor band in California, and the director was a professor of music at San Jose State University at the time. A great guy, really energetic. I really enjoyed that time. But he did something that I'd never heard anybody do since or before that or since then. But he stood up on the director's podium and he says, "Okay, I don't care what key you play in. I don't care if you sit here and play scales. I don't care. Just play." And we all looked at each other. It's like, what do you mean, just play? He says, "No, you don't understand. Just play something. You can play part of a song here. You can play your favorite solo. You can do scales. Just play." And so the funny thing about it is that creates, in a musical world, what's called dissonance.
Mhm.
Okay. But here's the thing, as we progressed in it and we kept going, I wouldn't say it was harmonious, but it began to flow in kind of a movement that had some harmony to it, even in all the dissonance, even in all the noise. And
Mhm.
it was just an interesting experiment. I really had a blast doing that. And it showed me then that you can have several voices
Mhm.
and still have harmony.
And harmony is so much when things are in harmony, you feel lighter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like
Yes.
things just they just flow better. They just work better. Your brain works better, your heart works better, your body works better, your
Hmm.
mind clears. And it sounds like an impossible task, but it's really not.
No.
Um, so many of us live almost like on the edge of our seats. We're just
Yes.
we never rest. We never, we're always going. And like I noticed last night, I went to bed at 9 o'clock, and at 1 o'clock, my brain would not.
Hmm.
I thought I'm tired. I take a sleeping pill at night. It did not do its job. My muscle relaxer didn't do its job. I thought I'd be knocked out. And at 1 a.m., I'm still sitting there going, why is my brain racing? What is going on? And it was just random thoughts, but we're so used to being on overdrive.
Yes. Yes.
And there are times when you're in survival mode, if you have to be in survival mode, that's what that's for.
Right.
But as things start to slow down, we don't.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we're out of harmony, not just with our inner world, but our outside world.
Right.
And the
Right.
harmony needs to be not so much work life as the inner and outer,
Right. Right.
because that's where all the magic happens, where all the
Yes.
beauty happens.
Yes.
If you can, I mean, even when I was in my lowest parts of depression, there were times when I had very clear thoughts and ideas and things where I felt that I could actually accomplish that.
Hmm. Hmm.
I was completely out of harmony, but every once in a while it would peek in. It's
Hmm.
there. Make it welcome.
Yeah. You're so right with the peace and the calmness and everything that comes when you're in harmony.
Mhm.
And because if you stop and think about um, what we're talking about with harmony, yes, we have family dynamics and the communication has to be there, and everybody's working together, and even though they're doing their own thing, everybody knows what everybody else is doing, and so there's a harmonious relationship there. But when it comes to our own personal lives, our bodies, our
Mhm.
mind, our spiritual, all those realms, when you're in harmony with all that, when you're in touch with your body, when you're in touch with your mind, there is a peace, there's a calm. And that's one reason why I don't know, we coach people about that harmony that they need. And one of the things that we coach is you need to um, have that time of meditation, that time of slow down. And no matter when you do it, meditation is not a four-letter word for those who are faith-based people out there and think that we're talking some, crazy thing. We're not. But meditation is a thought process and a way to bring your mind into harmony with your physical, spiritual, mental, all those areas of your life. And I use meditation techniques every morning, every morning. I'm like you, Linda. There's times, doesn't matter what I do, I'm staring at the ceiling at 1 o'clock in the morning. And I know it's 1 o'clock in the morning because we have one of those clocks that projects the time up on the ceiling, right?
Oh God.
Yeah. Well, we got it for a cruise because in a cruise ship you can't see anything. So, and it was
No, yeah.
perfect, right? But anyway, I digress there. But to slow the mind down, because it doesn't do the body any good.
Mm-mm.
And what are some of the tricks that you use to try and bring that calm, that peace, that harmonious feeling?
I start by taking some deep breaths and just kind of clearing everything out. And some of the things that help me are my I am statements.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Help me get back in tune with who I am and who I am becoming. I do them every morning.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And like I've got a huge sheet of paper of them, and I used to try to do them all, and that took a long time. And now that I'm back in the swing of things, I don't always have that time. So as I'm getting ready, I just say the ones that come to me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And a lot of times the ones that come to me are things that I don't feel that I am right now.
Right.
But
right.
I aspire to be. And
Mm-hmm.
so if I can say them, and I say them looking in the mirror, and then I say them with a smile. I look myself in the eye and I smile,
Mm-hmm.
because I also want to get that feeling, and it combines everything.
Mm-hmm.
And when I start my day that way, I find myself in a lot better harmony, because I've found, I've set my flow, and because I'm more relaxed with that kind of meditation, if something goes wrong, it's not a disaster.
Right.
It's an
Right.
inconvenience.
Yeah.
And even if it is a disaster, I can face it with the knowledge that I am fully resourced.
Right.
And I can handle whatever this is going to be. It just allows me to get more in tune.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's really what meditation is. It's not.
Yes.
It started, a lot of that started in the Far East, and that's wonderful. If that does not jive with who you are, you can still meditate.
Right.
Prayer is meditation.
Right. Right.
And I ams are meditation.
Yes. Yes, they are. They are. And it's so interesting. So many people, different beliefs, different faiths, different organizations, almost all of them will tell you need, some don't call it meditation. They call it quiet time, downtime. But, I do that. I have that time. My best time for me is first thing in the morning, for a couple reasons. I'm the only one up, and the dog's not even up. He's getting lazier and lazier as he gets a little bit older. He does, as soon as I get out of bed, he goes and finds my pillow, and then he snuggles down on my pillow for the next hour or so. But I take my time with I have my journal next to me, and I'll start with the I am statements. I'll start with the meditation time, reflecting upon what the day is required of me, and what do I want to deliver today? What do I want to, how do I want to impact people today? And what positive impact can I bring to those around me? And I find that it centers me more for the day. It takes regardless of the restlessness of the night, it brings me back into focus, and I can kind of let the night go. But it also energizes me. And that's when you're meditating, when you're actually, you have that mind relaxed and you're doing what you need to do, you'll get those nudges. You'll get those nudges that you're fully resourced, as our mentor Paul Martinelli talks about. you get that nudge, you're fully resourced to do what it is the universe is telling you to do. And we have to take advantage of that.
Hmm.
We have to listen. We have to move forward. I think it is so important to take that meditation time
Hmm.
and to capitalize on it every day.
Yeah. And Paul talks about authentic journaling, which I really love that exercise, where you just open your journal and do like a brain dump.
Yes.
And,
I hate that, but I do it.
I hate it too because the dumb stuff that comes out, empty the dishwasher.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Really, I'm writing this down, but yes, he says, whatever comes in your head. And it's
Yes.
amazing because then you can go back and look and see what ideas did I have. And
Right.
when we talk about being fully resourced, everything starts as an idea, as a
Yes.
thought.
Hmm.
And you can't have that idea or thought unless you are able to make it come to fruition.
Yes.
So it's important that we track those because there are some amazing thoughts
Yes.
that years ago, a friend of mine and I, we were working on a product that we were going to put together, and then it didn't happen. And, about 3 years later, we saw somebody else had done it, and we just looked at each other and said, see, we should have finished.
Yes. Yes.
Because once the thought is out there, if it doesn't appeal to you, let it go because it'll appeal to someone else.
Right. And it's so important that there may be thoughts that you need to let go.
Definitely. Yeah.
On the other
Thoughts and
hand,
feelings. Yeah.
if you don't write them down, you're not going to remember them. And at some point in time, you may come back to it. And you may get that nudge today, but it's for something that you're going to do tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but as we talk about work-life harmony, we have to, that's one of the, I can't impress upon people enough that they have to let go of the word balance, because it just brings, I don't know. What do you, when you think of the word balance, what's the first image that comes to you?
Person standing on one leg on a balance beam.
Yep. Or scales of justice, right?
Scales of justice, definitely. I watched Simone Biles the other day. That's why
oh my goodness. Yeah.
Although if you talk about balance, wow.
Yes, absolutely. On the other hand, she's had some struggles lately.
When that happened to her in the Olympics, and you could see it on her face when she was midair and she had no idea where she was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She had lost that. And that's why I tell my clients and I myself, I look for harmony, because if you're in balance and you fall out of balance, you fall. With harmony, you readjust.
Yep. You may be able to adjust on the way down. You may be able to tuck and roll. In balance, you're going to go to a bad place mentally more often than not, mm-hmm. when you pop out of balance.
Because a lot of times it's, what do I have to give up?
Yes.
Versus...
And if you're trying to balance work life and do all that kind of stuff, that implies something wins or someone wins, mm-hmm. and something or someone loses. In harmony, that's not the case. And I used to, now most people who may be listening today have no idea what a barbershop quartet is, because they're just not around. But if you go in and Google it or YouTube it or whatever, and when you hear and feel those harmonies, and that's what life should be about. There's,
right.
And trust us, folks, we're not always there.
Oh God, no.
We're not perfect, and we do end up trying to balance and juggle things. But trust me, if you would work towards harmonious life, start with communication. Start with talking to your spouse, your significant other, your family, your children, whoever is in that inner circle, and begin to live in harmony and talk about why it's important and talk about the struggles that you have to try and keep things in balance.
Yeah. Work that out, because, and I know we're getting at the end of time here. Balance requires you have control over both.
Mm-hmm.
And there is very little about work or about life that we actually control other than how we're going to deal with it.
That's true.
Harmony allows for that flexibility, allows for the changes, allows for the flow, and it's okay if it's not equal.
Yes.
Life isn't equal, life isn't fair,
Right.
but it
Right.
can be very harmonious.
It can, and you'll be in a much happier place. Well, Linda, it's been wonderful today talking about our show is Balancing Act, but talking about living in harmony. And we would invite you all, if you want some more coaching and counseling on how to live a harmonious life, how to keep things going forward and having win-win conversations and win-win relationships, reach out and schedule a strategy session with us. And we'd be more than happy to talk you through some of that stuff and set you up for success.
Love to do that. Our initial session is complimentary. So you'll see you soon. See you next week.
All right. Have a good week,
Thanks, Linda.
Linda.
You too.